Those only are happy who have their minds fixed on some object other than their own happiness. On the happiness of others, on the improvement of mankind, even on some art or pursuit, followed not as a means, but as itself an ideal end. Aiming thus at something else, they find happiness by the way. Robert Ardrey points out in his marvelous book, The Social Contract, that the three most important factors to any human being are, in this order: number one, identity, recognition as a separate, original human being; number two, stimulation, change, the opposite of boredom; and number three, security, the opposite of anxiety. Abraham Lincoln said that people are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. And that seems to be it, the making up of the mind. Happy people are happy most of the time, and it must be because they just made up their minds that the alternative doesn't hold much hope or fun. Happiness should not be just the reaction to an outside stimulus. Rather, it should be a state of mind. Moments of complete and blissful satisfaction are wonderful but rare, and soon give way to a nagging desire for something else. And that's good. Dr. Paul Shearer, speaking of Job's impatience to get immediate and direct answers to his questions, said, "Greatness and peace and happiness are simply not proper ends for any human soul to set for itself. They are the byproducts of a life that is held steady like a ship at sea to some true course worth sailing." Terrific, isn't it? A person needs to find the course in which he can lose himself, dedicate himself, and then the greatness and the peace and the happiness will come to him naturally, as the bee comes to the blooming flower, or a child runs to its parents. A person should have his roots deep in a great moving current, a moving stream of conscious direction, which will keep him on course, sailing steadily toward the destination he's chosen, regardless of the economic and social winds that blow first this way and then that on the surface. The meaning of serendipity, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is the faculty of making happy and unexpected discoveries by accident. And it means also the good things that almost always happen to a person following a bold course of action, serendipitous things. Courtesy. If a man and woman will be courteous to each other, they'll never take each other for granted. Their marriage will never become dull and common and stale. Courtesy is the thing that keeps a love fresh and alive. It's a strange thing, but if there's one person on the face of the earth you should show courtesy to, it should be the person to whom you're married. That person before anyone else. One of the neatest tricks in the world is to learn to enjoy the present, since the present is the only time we'll ever own. Distance is no longer a serious obstacle due to modern means of travel, but time remains unconquerable. It cannot be expanded, accumulated, mortgaged, hastened, or retarded. It's the one thing completely beyond man's control. And while the supply of time is certainly limited for anyone, generally it's squandered as though there's no end to it. The solution may be found in living for the present and enjoying it as much as we can. Now, this does not mean that we should not plan for the future. We should. But once our plans are laid, fine. Work on them, but don't stew and fret over them. It is the voyage and the adventures on the way that count, not the arrival itself. This seems to be the most difficult truth to understand. This is not to say that a man's goal in life is unimportant. On the contrary, it's vital. For without a goal, a distant destination, we would not begin the trip at all. Where am I going? Why am I going there? What is it that I really want? And why do I want it? Am I making the best possible use of myself as a person? Am I gradually realizing my real potential? Am I discovering my best talents and abilities and using them to their fullest? Am I living fully extended in my one chance at life on earth? Am I really living? Who am I? Whatever it is you're looking for must first be found within yourself, whether it be peace, happiness, riches, or great accomplishments. Everything we do outwardly is only an expression of what we are inwardly. To ask for anything else is as absurd as looking for apples on an oak tree. So the person who knows what he wants knows what he must become, and so he fixes his attention on the preparation and development of himself. And as he grows toward the ideal he holds in his mind, he finds interest, zest, and joy on the journey. He looks forward to tomorrow, but he also enjoys today, for it's the tomorrow he looked forward to yesterday. He knows that if he cannot find meaning and value in his present, it will very likely be missing from his future. Today is the future of 5 years ago. Look well to this one day, for it and it alone is life. In the brief course of this one day lie all the verities and realities of your existence, the pride of growth, the glory of action, the splendor of beauty. Yesterday is only a dream, and tomorrow is but a vision. Yet each day, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and each tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this one day, for it and it alone is life. Every person is born to be a star at something. The purpose of his or her life is to discover it, and then to spend his or her years building upon that plot of ground it was given to him and to her to till. The dreamers are the saviors of the world. As the visible world is sustained by the invisible, so men, through all their trials and sins and sordid vocations, are nourished by the beautiful visions of their solitary dreamers. To desire is to obtain, to aspire is to achieve. Dream lofty dreams, and as you dream, so shall you become. Your vision is the promise of what you shall one day be. Your ideal is the prophecy of what you shall at last unveil. The greatest achievement was at first and for a time a dream. The oak sleeps in the acorn, the bird waits in the egg, and in the highest vision of the soul a waking angel stirs. Dreams are the seedlings of realities. Your circumstances may be uncongenial, but they shall not long remain so if you but perceive an ideal and strive to reach it. You cannot travel within and stand still without. Every day of our lives is either successful or unsuccessful. If we permit the success of our days to depend upon things such as the weather, the talk and the actions of other people, and if we concentrate not on what we have, but rather on those things we do not have, well, we become little more than small mirrors of our surroundings. What we should remember is that each of us, in reality, shapes his world in his own likeness. If ours is not a happy world, it's because that's the way we see it.